If you're always running low on VC, it's not because you're bad at the game, it's because you're wasting VC in ways you don't even notice. Starting with the most expensive VC mistake by far, throwing away builds. Every 2K player has made the mistake of messing up builds, whether it be one small attribute, one badge that we missed, or even just making a bad build all around. So you do what most people do, you make a new build. And just like that, you've wiped out 150 to 300,000 VC all because of something that was completely preventable. So how do you prevent wasting builds? By being absolutely 100% certain that the build that you're creating is the best possible thing you can make for your needs. What that means is you want to take into account every badge you want, every attribute you want, even future cap breakers, because I'm telling you from experience, one tiny mistake can literally ruin an entire build. Along with double checking everything yourself, one thing that has saved me countless times is getting second opinions on my build. Right before I put VC on a new player, I always send it to friends to get their opinion on it. You'd be really surprised at what fresh eyes can catch, as even though I heavily check my builds before upgrading them, they sometimes still find things I completely missed. I would highly recommend doing this. Keep in mind though, there is no such thing as a perfect build. There are so many modes, all of which require different things from your build, and you can't make a build that can play every single mode at the highest level. I personally have numerous builds for a bunch of different modes, but everyone does make their builds with a specific idea in mind for it. Think about what you're mainly using your build for. Are you mainly playing rec, 2s, maybe 3s? You need to keep that in mind when you're creating your build, as it will not only make you a better build maker, but it will also save you hundreds of thousands of VC in the process. Mistake number 2, ante up / the stage. The main problem with stage is that people walk in there without realizing what they're actually signing up for. The stage is not the park. You don't just win some VC if you win and shrug it off if you lose. Every single game in the stage is a risk, and every single loss is VC straight out of your balance. If you're not consistently winning, if you don't have a reliable squad, or if you're just having an off day, stage will drain your VC faster than literally any other game mode on 2K. Stage is not for experimenting, it is not for testing builds. If you do play it, the smartest thing you can do is know when to quit. Lose a couple games in a row, leave. Protect your VC, trust me, I know from experience. Because staying longer almost never works out the way you think it will. More times than not, you will lose even more VC when you try to earn it back. If you appreciate this video getting straight to the point without 20 minutes of filler, do me a quick favor and hit the like button. It helps the channel out a ton, and it tells me you want more guides just like this one. Mistake number 3, buying cosmetics and clothes before your build is upgraded. This one is very simple, but it gets almost everyone. You load up the game, your build's still a low overall, but you go take a look at swags and you see some new drip in the store. Maybe there's even some new animations, maybe even some tattoos that you want to put on your player. And it doesn't feel like a big deal because every purchase is only a few thousand VC and you'll make it back soon. But stack enough of those purchases up and you've delayed upgrading your build by entire attribute levels. I want you to think, in the last month, how much VC have you spent on clothes, tattoos, animations, all of those kinds of things? And I want you to think just how much of that VC could have been put into your build. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying never buy cosmetics. Finish upgrading your build first. That doesn't mean get it to 99 overall, but just get it to the point where you're like, this is good enough for online play. Once your player is actually maxed or close to it, then spend freely. Doing it early just slows everything down and keeps you stuck being a low overall longer than you need to be. Mistake number 4, My Team packs. My Team packs are one of the most deceptive VC sinks in the entire game. Because technically, yes, you could pull something crazy out of those. And a lot of people have, but they've also opened a lot more packs and not pulled anything. You're spending VC for a fraction of a chance at a card. You're not guaranteed anything. But most people get tempted. They say just one pack. Then one pack turns into 5 packs, 5 into 10, and before you know it, you've burned through enough VC that could have upgraded an entire build. Unless you mainly play My Team and are fully committing to it, like buying large boxes and understanding that it's still a gamble, packs are almost never worth it. Especially if you're mainly a My Career player and you just went there to test your luck. But the truth is, with how hard VC is to come by, you cannot put your VC on the line for luck. Mistake number 5, buying unnecessary boosts or buying too much boosts. Boosts are very helpful and some are essential, but most players buy way more than they actually need. Everything else is situational at best, like if you're playing on a high court and stage, or if you're playing in a wager or a party series, you can justify buying more boosts or even every boost. Otherwise, it's really not worth it. And if your crew is leveled high enough, you get all the boosts for free anyway, which is another reason to aim for that instead of dumping VC into temporary advantages. Buying boosts you don't need is basically renting slight performance increases instead of putting it into your player. It doesn't seem like much, but it drains VC quietly game after game until you wonder where it all went. Mistake number 6, ignoring free and easy VC. This right here is a mistake that doesn't really feel like a mistake in the moment, and it actually feels like you're doing the right thing. What I mean is ignoring the areas that give you little amounts of VC, but they only take a few seconds. I'm talking about things like the daily pick'ems, endorsements, my career quests. Each one seems pretty small. I mean, some of these will only give you around like 500 VC, maybe 2000 VC if you're lucky, so most people skip them. They think it's not enough to matter, or I'll do it later. But here's what actually happens when you ignore free VC like this. You skip 2000 VC today because it feels like nothing. Then tomorrow, you need VC for another upgrade. So you either grind for 3 hours in my career or you end up buying VC. All because you couldn't be bothered to spend 5 minutes the day before claiming what was right there in front of you. Those small amounts of VC actually add up to a large amount of VC over time if you consistently do them. So again, make sure you're doing your daily pick'em, your daily spin, your quests, both the daily ones and the long-term ones. And you also want to work towards maxing out your endorsements to the highest tier possible. And don't get me wrong, those are not the best VC methods in the game. You're not going to become a VC millionaire if you do those things. But they're very simple and they're very easy. And if you do them consistently over time, you're giving yourself an additional tens of thousands of VC per month for maybe 10 minutes of effort per day. If you do those things, your future self will thank you. And mistake number 7, treating VC like you'll just earn it back. This mindset is what allows every other mistake on this list to happen. When VC feels unlimited, which is usually right after you buy VC or if you save up a large amount of VC, spending stops feeling intentional and you really stop thinking about what you're buying. You may buy a lot of clothes from swags that you don't really need. You may upgrade some builds that don't really need to be upgraded. You may even rip some My Team packs. But VC does not regenerate passively. Every 1,000 you waste is now time you have to earn that VC back. Trust me, I'm speaking from experience. I remember 2K, I bought like 1 million VC when the game released, and I was literally telling myself, you know what, I have so much VC, I can buy all these clothes, I can upgrade 2 or 3 builds, and I didn't really think anything of it because I had so much VC. But even with 1 million VC, it will go by very quickly. A lot of people seem to think the players who have a lot of VC are just magically better at grinding or something, or they have like a secret VC method. But the truth is, it's one or two things. They're just more disciplined with how they spend it, or they spend every dollar of their money on VC. And trust me, you don't have to do the second one. If you are more disciplined with where you spend your VC and you are more mindful with what you're actually buying, you will notice that you will have a lot of VC in your account pretty often. Just remember, VC is hard to come by and it's even harder to keep. Treat it that way and you won't make any of these mistakes on this list. Now you know how to avoid losing your VC, but what are the best and fastest ways to make it? Click the video on screen if you want to become a VC millionaire.